Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Nina. If you're new here, welcome. Today I have a very exciting video. Today I will be DIYing some fall decor. Some decor I already had on hand. For example, some pumpkins. I will be changing the color to more neutral colors that fit my color palette and aesthetic. And I'll also be showing you some thrifted pieces that I found that I will be changing the color to my taste. So if you guys are interested in seeing how I achieve that, grab a snack, maybe your favorite beverage. Stay tuned and I'll show you how. Okay, so this is the first item that I thrifted. It's a ceramic leaf and it was only $4.99, but I think it's really pretty. I feel like this is something you would find like at Pottery Barn or World Market. I think it's so cute. I'm not a fan of the color, but that's gonna be an easy fix. So I did go to the Home Depot and I found these two colors. So I do plan to spray paint my leaf into one of these colors. I feel like these are perfect fall colors. I feel like this one would be a little bit better. I'll test both of them and see which one I like best. Before I started painting, I made sure my ceramic is clean and dry. First, I will be priming 2 coats of Rust-Oleum white primer over the surface, holding the can about 8 to 12 inches away. Once I spray the 2 layers, I let it dry completely, usually about 30 minutes in between each layer. This primer gives the paint a smooth base and helps those colors really pop. Once my primer is dry, I will be starting with a base coat. I decided to go with the warm caramel color. Letting each coat dry in between, I ended up doing 3 coats. Alright, moving on to my next DIY. This basket that I already had on hand, it's a great shape and size, but honestly, I wasn't loving the color. So I decided to give it a quick and easy refresh using spray paint. I ended up painting it with this warm nutmeg shade. It's a soft brown with a hint of richness that I think will go perfectly with the fall decor. I gave it a few light, even coats, letting each one dry in between. Remember, when you're spray painting, keep the can about 8 to 12 inches away and move it in a steady, sweeping motion to avoid drips. The nutmeg color really warmed it up and gave it a more modern, earthy vibe. Moving on to my next DIY. So I've had a few decorative pumpkins that I've collected over the years, but I've never really been a fan of the colors. So for this project, I decided to give them a little makeover using one of my favorite techniques. Paint mixed with baking soda. It adds such a nice, textured, almost ceramic-like finish. For this, I'm using paint I picked up at the Home Depot in the colors Roasted Seeds and Toasted Almond. I'm also using a couple of acrylic paints from Walmart in Territorial Beige and Melted Chocolate. I'll also be using a regular paintbrush, a Styrofoam Plate for mixing, and some painter's tape. I started by covering the pumpkin stems to keep their original colors. Then I poured some paint onto the plate, then mixed in baking soda until I got that thick, chalky texture that I'm going for. Then I brushed it right onto the pumpkin. I used a wood stick to paint all the small crevices that the paintbrush cannot reach for precision. I ended up needing 2 coats to really cover the original color. Now that the base is dry, I'm going in with a mix of black acrylic paint and melted chocolate to add some depth and dimension. I'm using the water paint wash method, which means I'm thinning the paint with a little water so it becomes more translucent. This helps create a subtle, grungy effect, kind of like a dirty pumpkin look, without covering the base color completely. You can always blot with a paper towel if it looks too dark or too heavy. Once it's dry, you'll see the texture pop, and the paint wash gives it so much character. After letting them dry completely, I'm honestly loving the results. These colors feel so warm and cozy, and the texture gives the pumpkins a whole new life. Alright guys, and that concludes this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this DIY. If you found it inspiring in any way, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't done so you stay tuned for all of my future videos. I'll see you on my next one. Bye friends!